the sky. Think about the blessings, all the blessings that you got. It's a great day to be alive.
Welcome to another edition of It's a Great Day at SAGU podcast. Our purpose is to introduce you to staff, their roles, and highlight key areas of campus mission through continued communication of all things SAGU. I'm your host, Rick Bowles. Our co-host is James Carnell. Our producer at the end there is James Bridges, otherwise known as JB. Well, it's been a few months, Carnell, since we've done our last podcast, so it's good to be back in the studio.
Yeah.
I know you're headed to Israel this week with President Bridges, so tell us a little bit about just what are your expectations? I know you've got mainly alumni going with you, right?
We do. We have we opened it up to our alumni and everybody, actually, students and faculty. We have 31 total going, which really surprised me as we were getting this thing going. We started 7 months out promoting it. I was really hoping to get 20 maximum. I didn't think we would get 30, so I'm really excited about the numbers. And we have a great group that's going, pastors, alumni, different ones from around the country. So it's going to be a great trip.
I'm just curious how many he had to pay.
Hey, no, man! I'm telling you, it's a great thing. We'll be doing a 10-day trip. We leave on Thursday, and we'll be back on the 18th. And it's going to be a boom, 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 lot of fun seeing all the major sites. I tell everyone that if you have not gone at least once in your life, you really need to make a trip. My only regret after the first time going was that I didn't go sooner. It really is that impactful, and I just encourage everybody to get a chance to go. Next year, we'll be doing another SAGU trip, and it will be at spring break next year. So make plans. If you've been thinking about it, go ahead and start putting back the money and making those plans because it will be a great opportunity.
Yeah, I'll plan for 5 years out, save it to get there. Yeah. Well, if you haven't been in the back of Schaefer recently, the track has been completed. It's fun watching the soccer, football, and track practicing back there on the new sports venue. And it's been a long time coming, but the other day I was walking by there and soccer was practicing, track was running, doing the hurdles, things like that.
Doing the track
thing. Yeah. So it's fun.
And the students, we had Daisy Otwell on our Faith in Sports program this past week. She, of course, she was a finalist in our NCCAA tournament. I think she took 8th, if I'm not mistaken, on one of them. And she said they were just ecstatic to be finally on their own track to be practicing, and so looking forward to competing, having that home field advantage finally. And so it's a really cool thing.
Yep.
Very exciting. Yep. Very, very exciting.
What else we got going on, Mr. Carnell?
Well, I don't know if you've noticed over by Davis parking lot over there between Davis and the Student Union Building, otherwise known as the Barns. But we have our Lion of Judah statue that has found a semi-permanent location, and we're really excited about that. It's going to be temporarily located there by those shrubs that say SAGU, which I did not know they said SAGU until you actually pointed that out, and then I actually didn't believe you, so I went over there.
Yeah.
And you stand up a little bit. Yeah, you can.
I had to put you on my shoulders.
Yeah, I was standing on your shoulders.
Look down on it to see
get
SAGU.
the little.
Yeah.
So is that our ministry advertisement to airplanes going over? Is that what we're?
We've got drones now, so everybody's got a drone, right?
So that's what it's for.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I can definitely see that. But anyway, that was a really cool thing. It was $100,000 donation. Was the value of that. So that is a really cool thing. Very excited.
Yeah, and we hope to have a campus-wide dedication coming up pretty soon. So we've invited the artist, the sculpture back, and he's ready to go. We're just waiting for a couple more people. So either end of this month or early April, we will have a campus-wide dedication of that. So that'll be fun. Well, before we introduce our special guest, JB, why don't you give us an update on our new staff that have been added to the team since about September?
All righty. Well, these are our new SAGU staff members since September. We have Mr. Corey Anzaldua. He is a new graduate assistant coach for football. We have Johnny Burrow and Matthew Day. Johnny and Matthew are new field maintenance workers for athletics. Chase Darby is the new service specialist in academic services. He enjoys participating in small groups and driving around.
Wait. Driving around. I need to meet this
Driving
Chase
around.
Darby guy because, maybe we could get him to go fetch things for us if he likes driving, right?
Well, I need some more water for the office.
There you go.
What he?
Yeah.
If he loves driving.
Yeah, maybe he'll do that.
There we go.
Well, then next we have Nicholas Ebert. He is the new assistant men's basketball coach for SAGU AIC. Jason Forte is a new adjunct instructor for the Bible and Theology department. Tony Griskovitz is a new adjunct instructor for the Bible and Theology department
Good
as well.
pronunciation on
Thank
that,
you.
JB. Very
He
good.
enjoys, you'll find this interesting, tabletop wargaming.
I have no idea what that is.
I have no context for what that is either.
So Tony,
good for him.
I love your last name because I want to buy a vowel when I look at your last name. It's pretty cool. But
Well, Sarah Holt is the new administrative assistant for the counseling center. Also, this is on an hour loop, so we could keep going. She enjoys painting. Isn't that sweet?
painting.
Mm-hmm.
Josiah Johnson is a new graduate assistant coach for football. He enjoys photography.
Mm-hmm.
Nancy Lane is the new content strategist for the marketing department. She enjoys
Yes.
refinishing furniture and creating things. And as a
Creating
content
things.
strategist, I'm glad that she enjoys
That's
that.
awesome. Yeah.
Samuel Molina is a new student services specialist for the registrar's office. He enjoys drawing, fishing, skating, biking, and playing instruments.
Okay.
Victoria Padilla is the new administrative assistant for the College of Bible and Church Ministries. She enjoys watching movies.
Nice.
Adarian Rowell is a new security officer. He enjoys working out, video games, bowling, movies, and football. Lisa Pastore is not new to SAGU, but has a different role. She is a new graduate admissions counselor for the Harrison School of Graduate Studies, the grad school. She enjoys cooking, thrifting, and traveling. And finally, Alexiona South is a new worker at the Garrison Wellness Center. She enjoys reading.
Wow. That's a long list of news. Oh, no. So, Sarah, got a question for you, Sarah Holtz. It says you enjoy painting. I have a fence that really needs some. Yeah, I mean, she enjoys it, right? So,
Actually, when I read that was the first thing I went to. It's like, I got some painting I need help
I
with.
really, yeah. I mean, come on over, right?
don't
I mean,
That
think-
shows we're very creative.
I
right?
will cook some burgers, and you can just paint, and I'll watch you.
Oh,
Man, that would be wonderful.
Like Tom Sawyer.
Like Tom Sawyer.
There you
That
go.
could be awesome. Well, thanks, JB. We appreciate it. We're excited. We're very excited about our men's basketball team that are in New Orleans, or if you're from there, Nolans, right? And we're going to be playing the first round of the NAIA tournament. They're going to play Loyola University tonight, so that's pretty exciting.
Yes, it is. That's fun. The Image, the Spring E-Journal for SAGU.
Spring.
Is
I didn't see an SH in there, but Spring e-journal.
They are looking for contributions from students, faculty, and staff. They are looking for short stories, devotionals, poetry, art, photography, and more. So, I guess, Carnell, that means you will
Yeah.
not be contributing anything.
Oh, I've got some great
at
poetry.
all. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I bet you do. Send to sagu.edu/theimage if you want more information. Deadline is spring break.
All
Man,
right.
I might draw something. I might just put some of my art talent together and submit it. What do you think? Yeah.
I've seen your drawings.
I know.
Yeah. No, that would be great.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
March 22nd through the 23rd is going to be the very first ever Called Conference. Hello. It's partnering with the National Assemblies of God Called Department. And on the 23rd at 6 p.m., we'll have a panel, Q&A, and a dinner. For details, visit sagu.edu/called 2023-dinner. All right, Called Conference.
Yes.
So that's a partnership, or it's kind of not a partnership, but it's kind of an extenuation. Extenuation, is that a word? No.
You're talking.
I just made it up. Is it a word? Check that out, English department. It's kind of an extension, is the word I was looking for, of what the districts are doing with
Yes.
their called conferences, and so.
Well, I think the national departments kind of cast that vision, and a lot of the districts are doing that. But we can talk more about that. But there's opportunity for our students who feel potentially called to ministry, both in the marketplace and the vocational world. And then we're also inviting any high school students who feel like maybe they're called.
Cool.
And there'll be some great panelists there. It'll be a good time.
That
Our
sounds
guests
great.
today are Jaroy and Kim Carpenter. Woo! Even though they are not staff here at SAGU, Jaroy volunteers with our athletic training team, and they are here today to share a need for student volunteers, actually student workers, at Lakeview Camp and Conference Center. Welcome. Now, Kim, I have asked Jaroy to behave on the podcast, so you shouldn't be nervous, right?
I have no control over Jaroy.
That's like trying to tell the devil to guard the gates of heaven.
Hey, come on. Hey, but this segment is brought to you by Whataburger. Whataburger for the fast food and just voted the healthiest sandwich in America.
Whataburger.
Okay. So, yeah, Kim, we go back a ways.
We do.
We do go back a ways. Before y'all were married.
Yes.
Yes, I was in y'all's wedding.
You were.
That was a wonderful time.
And they're still married.
I'll never forget as Joy was being drugged down the aisle to make his way to stand up there. You know, it was a pretty touching occasion. And Roger the chicken was just hanging watching over the whole ceremony. It was beautiful. And then
Very
the girl
true.
and remember the
Very
girl
true.
that passed out?
There was a girl that passed out at our wedding.
That was pretty fun. Okay, we
Was
digress.
she upset that she wasn't marrying Jaroy? Is that the
That's
deal?
probably what it was.
Because the stories Jaroy tells me is there were girls all around him. I mean, they
Pick
were
a number,
left
wait
in
in line.
They were waiting, that's for
right.
sure.
That's right.
Pool had ended.
There was a lot of weeping and yeah. Okay, so let's talk about this a little bit. So y'all have been married for a long time.
We have
31 years,
32.
32 years. I almost got it right. 32 years, and you guys have done a lot of things. Y'all have been youth pastors, youth evangelists. Y'all have hosted many camps. People who are a little older will remember Jaroy as the camp guy from
right.
North Texas camps and all of that. Still does
Yep.
camps.
I often say people have anointing. I had the annoying.
Yeah. Now, you had a ministry back in the days when you were at Calvary Temple in
Yes.
Irving. What was that called? It was an interesting title to that ministry.
I think you were the associate of that
I
ministry,
was-
co-ministry.
I was the vice president.
We called
of
it
that.
We Weird Ministries. It's a sick world, and we're happy guys.
Yes, it was.
It sounded like it went far.
It did.
If that was the case, we really messed up
I
this
still have the
world.
t-shirt.
Blame it on James.
We're just glad that was really before the common videos, phones and stuff like that.
Oh
Because
my goodness, we'd be in jail.
there's
right
no
now.
evidence for us against us.
Cell phone
should I say.
videos,
Yeah.
be on the news.
Oh man, they have most of the rules that you see that camps have today is because of what we did back in those days, right?
Absolutely.
Right. Drew?
And I just find it very ironic that Mr. Jaroy is now camp director.
I know.
How did that happen?
I don't know. God has a sense of humor,
He
folks.
does.
People always say, Jaroy, if you were back then, I said, yep, but I'm not back then.
That's right.
I'm doing what I'm doing now.
Remember when you did? Yeah.
Don't mess with the messer.
Oh man. But it's a great. You guys, I mean, really, y'all have, and I'm saying this with all sincerity, you really set the kind of the norm, if you will, of how camps programs would be run for a lot of the districts around the Assemblies of God and out beyond Assemblies of God. The recreation aspect that you brought to camps in North Texas, and then when you trained me, and I went to South Texas and did it in South Texas, and it's just you see that, and so a lot of people give you. I travel all over the country, and when I said, "Do you know Jaroy Carpenter?" and
Then you got a duck.
we gotta talk, and we talk about camps and games and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, it's a lot of fun. You even wrote a book on gaming.
Yes, and that was on your encouragement because
Yeah.
whenever we were probation officers, youth pastors at Calvary Temple in Irving, remember I was on the phone most of the day with calls all across the nation. Hey, I've got a youth service, got a camp, I got a retreat.
Yes.
And he said, Jaroy, document that stuff.
Yeah.
And took me about 10 years, but we finally got it done.
Finally
And
got it
we've
right.
sold probably thousands of those things across the nation. I have a few evangelists say there's not an office I don't walk into across the nation of youth pastors that Get them pumped. It's not
It's
on
on
my
it.
shelf.
It's the number one book.
But a
And
disclaimer:
if you don't
is
have it, go to solidrockresources.com.
But if you use those games, there's a disclaimer that you don't sue me for getting fired.
Exactly. So y'all done all of that. Even Joy, you were here on staff at SAGU as the
Yes.
athletic trainer for a while.
Yes.
That was
That was in 06. I came and stayed
Okay.
to 13. I was the director of sports medicine and athletes outreach.
and then you got promoted to camp director at Lakeview
Yes.
Camp and Conference Center. What is the full name? Lakeview
It's Lakeview Camp and Retreat Center.
Camp and Retreat Center. So tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing now. So that's, you guys are, I mean, when you came in, the camp needed some help, and you guys were the right ones to come in. And tell us a little bit about that journey.
Camps have always been my wheelhouse, with all the camps and things we've worked together. And Rick DeBose asked me if I would take on this job. And I said, Rick, you know how I am with camp. I'm a camp guy, a games guy, a rec guy, a program guy, a camp speaker. I said, camp directors hate me. He laughed. He said, well, you know all the tricks. And I remember talking to him. I said, Rick, I don't build buildings. I don't build those I'm not a contractor. Steve Wagner before me did a beautiful job in doing, and Rod Culver building the camp, the buildings. He said, we've got the buildings. We just need to build the people. We need to build the camp. And Rick and I had co-coordinated several camps working down through the years. Matter of fact, he used to joke with me. He said, Dad told, when Brother Durwood DeBose was superintendent, he said, Dad told me we got to calm down a little bit. We're getting too many letters in our files in the district office. But he knew with the camp experience I'd had, and God had given me the opportunity to travel the nation and speaking a lot of camps and consulting with a lot of camps, not only our fellowship, but beyond. And so I had a broad kind of experience of camp programs, everything from the way the camp layout is, the way the camp looks, the camp protocols, just everything much more deeper than recreation. And so I said, Rick, it's going to take at least 5 years. He said, I know, but like anything, we went to work, we rolled our sleeves up and just went after it. And I remember talking to Kim. I said, Kim, I need your help. And Kim is what's amazing. God has brought an all-star team, including our board, which you and Rick are on, for Lakeview Camp. And he's been using different people that's done and excelled great things in their lives before camp ministry. And Kim, she was the marketing manager, sales rep for a national company called Waters and Waters. Did tremendous there in organizing and working with people and hospitality and everything. And I told her to come on board, and she did. And she did a great job in building the team. We had to get the right people in place, and you got to.
So, Kim, tell us a little bit about your role specifically at Lakeview.
So I'm director of hospitality and staff development. So we learned right away, when we got there and arrived, that it was definitely not a camp that represented a Christian camp, let alone one that's an extension of our district. So we had to kind of evaluate everyone and just try to see, are these people we can mentor and get on board, or are we going to have to yank the wheel? And we had to yank the wheel with a few of them and, let a few people go because they just were not going to be able to, fit into the culture of what we were trying to build. So we have, over the last, we've been there almost 10 years now. And so we have been able to get incredible leaders in place. And each summer, we have a core team of about 45 that work with us year round. And then in the summer, our staff increases to about 150, 160. So camp in the summer just increases every form of activity, every department increases. So we are currently in the process of looking for staff in pretty much all of our departments. We have a maintenance department. We've got the dining hall. We have housekeeping. We have guest relations. And under guest relations, we have a logistics team. We have recreation. And we have host. Hosts typically are staff that have been with us for a while that really understand the full aspect of camp. They work with all of the managers, and they serve the leadership of each group that's coming in really well. So one of our plans this summer, because we desperately need a strong workforce, but we need a strong workforce that understands ministry, that loves Jesus, but also loves kids and wants to serve people. So with that, our hope is to partner well with SAGU and bring in probably 14 to 15 college students that would live on site, and their meals will be provided, their housing, lodging would be provided. They'll work approximately 40, maybe 40 plus hours a week, and they'll be paid for those hours as well. So it's kind of it's a great deal. They'll be, I mean, right now we're looking at 10 an hour is what has been discussed. So when you don't have, you're not spending gas money to get to work, and your meals and lodging are taken care of. The goal is to have about 14 or 15, and they would stay on campus. The need that comes with that also is we are looking for some key leadership positions. One would basically be a lead that would work directly with those college kids and provide some quality time even while they're not working.
So for those maybe students who are listening, staff, some are new, as JB just alluded to, a lot of new staff. Where's the camp located? So from SAGU, people are thinking, where are we at? Where are you talking about?
Right.
It's right down the road.
It is. We're probably 10, 15 minutes away. So I know that off of 35, everybody sees the Scarborough Fair sign. We're just past Scarborough Fair, not too far. We're probably 7 miles from 35. Okay.
So you guys, I want to dig more deeply into that with the program, because I feel like SAGU has a great resource of students, and maybe there's some students that faculty staff you may know of that man, I don't want to go home. They live whatever. I don't have a job waiting on me. This could be an opportunity, not just for money or not just a job, but it's really a learning experience. Jaroy, I think you mentioned too, our board the other day, the importance of how many potential suitors for jobs, employers look at your resume and they say, wow, this person has camp experience. That means they have a well-rounded experience.
They can multitask if they work camp. Yeah. There's so many skills that you can learn from a camp. And that's just like what Kim was saying. Whenever we went to the camp, we had great people. We really did. But there was some that needed to be weeded. Some needs to be gone, just like in anything else, to help along the way to find their calling. And we found those that did have the calling to work camp. SAGU has been a great partner with Lakeview Camp. Matter of fact, when I went to Lakeview, that was my goal, is to bring SAGU and Lakeview together. And we host a lot of different events and groups there from SAGU. And we've down through the years had SAGU students work there. So it's this program that she's talking about is more of a very structured program, that not just the meals and then the lodging and the pay, but we want to do team building. We want them to walk away with a great experience that they've received from God, and they've heard from God from their time at Lakeview Camp through the summertime. We'll have approximately 20,000 that will pass through Lakeview Camp from the end of May to about mid-August. The impact that they can have on 20,000 people. I've often said that everything that we do at Lakeview Camp, it doesn't matter what job you do, you have a part in seeing that life change, because our vision statement at Lakeview is what happens here changes the world. Our mission at Lakeview Camp is serving groups and guests with excellence in our care convictions, to care for them, to appreciate them, to recognize, encourage them in everything that we do. And that smile when someone's coming through the dining hall or when they're serving food, that encouragement, just that, hey, you're doing a great job, or thank you for picking up that trash, or the maintenance, going in and clogging their toilet for them, that they should know how to unclog themselves.
Hey, it's
and
good life skills.
And it was their business.
From what I understand, Kim calls you for that task, right?
I have done that before. Yes, I have.
Well, I've often said that a royal flush beats a full house any day.
Exactly.
So
that woke JB up on that one.
James, it just comes out.
Hey, we could be here if we get on the one-liners, we're going to be here for a while. And we but one of the things I think, we've talked about this often. When we started out back in the day, you'd been doing camps for a long time already. Back in the day when it was in fact, not Lakeview, it was Jacksonville. Mountain View in Jacksonville.
Called it Mountain Puke.
And
Pastor George said, where hell's a local phone call.
They basically just took a beautiful forested camp and cut all the trees down.
Yes. And made a desert out of it. And we were running kids up and down a hill telling them they're having fun.
Yes. But the philosophy, even back then, the goal is that so many powerful things happen at camp.
Absolutely.
I was called in the ministry at camp. So many others saved, filled with the Holy Spirit, called ministry at camp. It's a powerful time, and that is everything you do at a camp, whether it's recreation, whether it's the dining hall, their experiences there, all can funnel them to that altar service, that time in the chapel, when during the spiritual time, where God can have a big impact on someone's life.
And I say everything that you do leads them to the altar that alters their lives. Mm-hmm. And this is the one thing I've learned. If anybody has ever been to camp, ever, and I have asked, I've talked, thousands of people down through the years, the first thing they'll tell you, their most positive spiritual experience, if they've been to a camp, they'll say camp. Mm-hmm. Because camp it changes life. I've often said camp is the closest that a person will get to heaven until they get there. Yeah. Because if you can get people to play together, if you can get them to laugh together, if you can get them to hang together, they're going to worship together. Mm-hmm. And camp, a week of camp can accelerate a relationship and a spiritual relationship, and then also a horizontal relationship, a friendship, light years, mm-hmm. just 1 week of camp. Yeah. So that's what's cool. If you get a chance as a student to work in that kind of environment, the change it does to your life, think what it does to thousands of others.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing.
That's awesome.
I had my first date at camp. It lasted 3 days because we had to leave.
Camp crush.
But yeah.
Wow.
Well, Kim and I met each other at camp.
Did you really?
Yes.
We did.
And I was called to
Let's
ministry
not talk
at
about
camp.
that, though.
Okay, I won't.
Well, you were, if I understand, you said you were missionary dating.
Yeah, because she was an MK.
She was a missionary's kid,
right.
so you were missionary dating.
Yes.
Well, I would like to say, and correct me if I'm wrong, but we've been talking about students serving. If
Yes.
there's parents that are listening.
Oh, absolutely.
I guess what age do you need these summer
typically,
workers to be?
Typically 16. We do have some positions that require to be 18. Anyone that's getting rope certified would have to be 18. This is also a great option for a teacher or a coach or someone that has summers off that's
Sure.
looking for work that will let you work just for the summer. I think sometimes people interview when they find out, well, it's just for summer, then
Right.
we're not interested. We are interested. So we are looking for lead positions. We're looking for maturity. We're looking for people that really love Jesus, because there's just that opportunity. I mean, and also I think too, we've had several people I have talked to that are interested in student ministry. This exposes you to so many different forms of churches that come in and the creativity they have in running camp and the things that they're doing today that was different from even 2 years ago. It really exposes you and gives you some incredible connections with churches all over the Metroplex and even beyond.
Yeah, the relationships.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Amazing.
Well, we appreciate y'all being here.
Thank you.
And
So how can they get a hold of you guys?
yeah.
Give us contact
Sure.
information.
My phone number, my direct line is 469-716-4940. So I have a lot of people that'll call me and ask about this. What does a day look like? Or you can email me, and that is just kcarpenter@lakeviewcamp.net. And again, that's kcarpenter@lakeviewcamp.net.
Friends, if you will just lay hands on that screen right now, we will. We don't have the number scrolling at the bottom, unfortunately.
Carnell's
So,
had a little too much caffeine.
once
Well,
again,
I'm a-
sponsored by Whataburger.
I'm afraid to do this, but as we end the podcast, do you have a particular joke? Because
No. Go get that started.
so this podcast has normally had a joke of the day for,
Yes.
and I say,
bad joke.
James, give us one joke. And 10 minutes later, we're still hearing jokes. So do you have one joke, or are we going to move on?
It's
with
that
that?
anointing of Jaroy.
That
I'm just-
anointing of the Spirit.
I'm
just
telling you, it
flows.
just flows.
So
No, I'm gonna acquiesce to the master
okay,
right here. The master.
you got a joke for us,
Joy?
Roy?
My bicycle fell over yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Found out it's too tired. Ba-dum-bum.
All right.
JB's a little slow on the sound effects, but that's okay. There we go.
JB, you can start the music because we're about
Yeah.
ending this thing. But no, seriously, it has been fun, and I would encourage you, if you've not been out to Lakeview, go out, check it out,
Yeah.
Yes.
see what's happening.
Absolutely.
It's a beautiful, beautiful place, and I know that you guys are going to get some help for
Yeah.
the summer.
So don't forget, call Jaroy, call Kim. If you don't know how to get a hold of them, get a hold of us in the alumni office. We thank you guys for watching and listening. And if you want more dad jokes, tune in next week.
Thanks for joining us. It's a great day at SAGU. Make it one.